Welcome back to season 2, episode 3. Today we have a very special guest, Kevin Spann. I hope I said your last name right. Sure. But Mr. Kevin is going to talk about us insurance, anything you need to know about insurance, why you should have insurance, and he's going to sell you a policy right after you watch this podcast. So, Joanna, give us some more information on our guest today, and we're so excited. Let's get this moving.
Thank you, everyone, for coming back to episode 3 on season 2. Today we have the best and only on every type of insurance. We have Kevin, a.k.a. the insurance guru. Kevin, please introduce yourself. Thank you so much for being here today with us.
Wow, what a warm introduction. I like the fact you said the people are going to buy right away. So I just want to skip the introduction and get right to the credit card or the check. I am Kevin Spann, the insurance guru, the one and only. Happy to be here on the Feed and the Power podcast, talking to these two wonderful people, and just have some fun, kick some free game today, and enjoy and share whatever knowledge I have to share.
Let's go. That's what it's about.
So we're here all about questions, but if you do have a question for us, especially, any questions that you might have for the agents or for the lender when it comes to insurance, we'll answer too. So Kevin, tell us what do you cover? What don't you cover when it comes to insurance?
Okay, excellent. So I'm an Allstate agent. I'm a personal lines insurance agent, and we cover everything that involves wheels, walls, and wealth. So what does that mean? Wheels is whatever you drive, whether it's your personal car or your commercial car, whether it's a motorcycle, an ATV, all the wheels that you drive, we cover. We cover your walls. Your walls is wherever you live, whether you rent an apartment, you have a co-op or a condo or a home, we cover that. An investment property, we cover that. Your walls, whatever that means to you. Mm-hmm. And then last but definitely not least, we cover your wealth. People can't buy wheels or walls without working hard to earn the money. So we protect the goose that lays the golden egg that makes all this possible with life insurance. So we protect the families that way. So neatest way I can say it is we cover wheels, walls, and wealth.
Love it. I've never seen it or heard it that way. Wheels, walls, and wealth. How better can that be? That's amazing. Now, maybe I'm cutting you off.
No. So I was gonna ask you another question, right? So, all right, perfect. So now we know what you cover as insurance, but let's backtrack a little bit, right? So, what got you into the business of insurance? Because insurance for a lot of people may sound boring. It's like, yeah, whatever, insurance, yeah, anybody can sell that, or anybody can get a license to sell insurance, right? But what makes it special for you?
The beauty for me is it fits who I am as a person. So I'm all about helping people. I'm all about talking to people, interacting with people. So you're a real estate agent, you're a lender, and it's actually the exact same business, just a different side of the same coin. Yep. So you're the first step. You lend the money, you pre-qualify people so they can buy a home. You sell the home. My job when it comes to walls is making sure they're insured the right way so they never lose it. People mm-hmm. work too hard to buy a house, even to rent an apartment, and without the proper insurance, they can lose it. So I'm the other side of the same coin to make sure they keep it. You asked, how did I get into the business? I kind of backed into this side of the business. I started as an underwriter, a life underwriter, and that's basically where when someone sells life insurance, I looked at their medical history to make sure they qualify. If they have any medical issues, I have a lot of knowledge and experience to say, don't worry about it. You're not the only one who had cancer. You're not the only one who had high blood pressure. Mm-hmm. We can still help you. So that was my job. But once I got there and I saw what the insurance agent job was, because like you said, insurance is like one of the best kept secret careers in the world. People just don't know about it. Mm-hmm. They don't know about it. From the outside looking in, it may seem like something that's boring, but if you follow me, if you follow my team and you see how we deal with people, it's anything but, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, and it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Where can we follow you? Where can the viewers follow you?
Everyone can follow me. I'm all over social media, IG, Kevin Spann, the Insurance Guru, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. I'm real easy to find, and you'll see how much fun we have helping people.
There's no excuses, and he always gives free information, free content, tips that you need, because insurance is very, very, it's a necessity. It's not really like a luxury. You really need it if you want to protect your wealth, your wills, and your wall, which is the best way to see it. So what would you say is the best part of your job? I know it's helping people and protecting their wealth, but the best part of your job is interacting with them, knowing that you help them, or just everything you do?
Talking to people, hearing everybody's backstory. My agency, I live here in Long Island. My agency is based in Queens. So I get to insure people that come from all over the world, every country, every language, every religion. And I love hearing people's backstory. Wheels, walls, and wealth. Well, what's the story? How did you get your first car? Was it given to you, or did you work 3 jobs to get it? 2 different stories. How did you buy the house? Kevin, you don't want to know how many shifts, how many hours I worked, and I did this and I did that. And it's amazing. It blows me away. I think of one of my young customers who came from Albania. He won the lottery for a chance to come to America by himself at about 20 years old. He went to Arizona first. He got a job helping somebody paint. 3 years later, he moves to New York by himself. Nobody, no mom, no dad, no brothers, no sisters. Starts his painting company here. Fast forward 2 to 3 years later, he just bought a house. He has his own company, his own car. So I love the process of hearing the backstory, because everybody's backstory is different. And so that gives me a real sense of, wow, knowing Joanna's backstory, knowing Lewis's backstory. I really got to do the insurance right. I really have to make sure they don't lose it, because, my God, they grind it to get it. Right. I can't do anything or treat them like they're just another person. No, they're not. How they got it is special.
Okay, so if you're looking for someone that's not going to treat you just like a transaction or another number, Kevin is your guy. Now,
Kevin, you got to share your backstory with us. You see, now I'm curious. Now you have to tell us why. Just tell us why.
Why? I love it. I really, really love it. I'm the son of an entrepreneur. My father had an office cleaning business. I grew up cleaning offices from 8 years old, even well after college, well after I started in the insurance business. I would go to work dressed like this by day, meet my dad at a job, change my clothes at a gas station, and go in and clean the office at night. But what I really wanted was an office job to take care of people. I really didn't know what that meant. I was sharing this with a waitress in a restaurant at Cafe Havana on Friday, just telling her, when you have a regular liberal arts degree, I have a criminal justice degree, and if you're not going to law school, if you're not going into law enforcement, you kind of have to find yourself. So I was telling about a book that I read many moons ago called What Color is Your Parachute? Where you kind of have to figure out, where do I fit in? How do I get a job? And that book taught me that there's certain industries that will hire you with a liberal arts degree: banking, insurance, real estate, lending. You can get into those careers because they're more about people. And that's how I got in. And after I got here as a life underwriter, once I saw what agents did on the sales side, I said, I have to get there. But probably the funniest part of my story is it took 20 years from when I started really to get here to realize my dream. So if anybody's out there looking for overnight success, it doesn't work that way. Anybody think that you've been going at it too long, don't give up. Good things take time. That's right. And I've been here in this seat, owning and operating my own agency since February of 2007. Wow. I love it, and I'm looking forward to doing it indefinitely with no stop date in mind.
That's amazing. Wow. That's amazing. So to get in details with the insurance, why is it important to have the right insurance? Because a lot of people make the mistake of saying, well, it's just a car insurance. It's just a home insurance. And some people even risk it at saying, nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. I just need an insurance because legally I need to.
Yeah, that's so dangerous, and that's a fantastic question. So a lot of people start out, they hear cheap, save 15% in 15 minutes, and that's cool. We want to give everybody the best price for the product. We want to give people the best price. We want to do that. But insurance differs by person based on their assets. So, Lewis, you're a young person. So if somebody talks to you about insurance, they look at your age, they might say, he's young, he's 20 years old, so let me hurry up and give him the cheapest possible policy possible. But if they don't talk to you and get to know you and realize that you're a business owner with a team, with investment properties, they don't know what your assets are. So my job in talking to people is not being nosy or just digging in your business. What I really have to do with each client is do what's called a risk assessment calculator to figure out, what do you have to lose if something goes wrong in an accident, lawsuit, or catastrophe? And based on that number, then I make my recommendation. But I can't make that recommendation if I don't take the time to do my due diligence to get to know you, because you're not the same as the next 19 or 20-year-old that walks in the door. I have to be respectful of that. I have to be mindful of it. I have to do the right thing by you because of who you are and not to put you in a box because of I can't make any assumptions.
Yeah. So, all right, let's say, and I kind of want to like elaborate on what you said, right? Because a lot of people might not, it's going to be harder for them to understand, right? But so pretty much what you said was like, you can't have $100,000 policy, and if you owe maybe like $500,000 in assets, because then you're going to be upside down and you might put yourself in a bad situation. And so that's what you pretty much do. You get nosy, like you said, into people's business, and you kind of figure out like, okay, this is the right policy for you. This is what you're covering literally 100% of their assets and themselves, because at the end of the day, if you, like you said, if somebody has an accident or maybe a tragedy, you want to be covered, especially with insurance, right?
Absolutely, because one of the things people don't know about insurance is people throw around words like full coverage and liability only, but they don't know what that really means. When you're in an accident, and worst case scenario is a fatality or some sort of tragedy or somebody gets hurt, you're going to be sued. We all know somebody that's gotten sued.
Yeah.
One thing that comes with your policy is that your insurance company is going to hire a lawyer to defend you, and they're going to pay up to the limits of your policy.
Okay.
So if you have a minimum policy, New York State is just $25,000 for one person, $50,000 for everybody in an accident, which for a person that maybe doesn't have a lot of assets yet, they're living at home with their family, that might be the maximum. But when a good lawyer comes after you, and they will when someone hires to sue you, they're not going to look at your age. They're going to look at your assets, and they're going to say, well, this person has XYZ. They're a doctor. They're a lawyer. They invest in real estate. They own multiple properties. I'm not settling for $25,000. I want $1 million. I'm 25 years old. My leg is messed up. My back is messed up. I'm never going to be able to work again and make the kind of money I used to make. So I want it all. I want it all. And we all know people that like to sue. So that's really what it is. That's why you have to have that real conversation to at least let people know what they should have. Does everybody take it? Nah. Everybody still says, Kevin, I hear everything that you're saying. Some people say, I hear everything you're saying, but right now, the most I could spend is this. And so we do that. We work with you. But also, one of the advantages of working with my agency, I have a wonderful team. I'm not a one-man operation. My team will talk to you every year to remind you, did you accumulate more assets? Yeah, as a matter of fact, I've flipped 2 houses since the last time we talked. Or I'm holding on to 3 properties. Okay, now if we were to make your policy to better protect you, would another $20 or $30 a month hurt you? Nah, Kev, I'm good now. I'm not the same place I was 2 or 3 years ago. Let's go ahead and do it the right way.
Yeah.
Correct. I mean, there's some people that make a living suing people, so you gotta make
Yeah. There's some ambulance chases out there. People do that. People will bump you. They'll look at what you're driving. They'll slow down in front of you because they want what you have. They just don't want to do the work.
Yeah.
That's right. Now, when it comes to a policy, the most common things to look at is obviously the expiration date, what you're gonna pay monthly, what's going to be your deductible, and last would be maybe, like what's the cycle for the whole thing. Is there anything else people should look at? Because when we see a little fine print, we're like, okay, that's it. I just want to know how much I pay, when is it expired, and how much is the deductible. Is there something that you would recommend that we should be looking at those policy more deeper?
The thing that people should look at is to have a conversation with your agent or the company that you're insured with to make sure they're keeping up with your life, right? Because nobody's life is not the same. Is your life the same as it was 3 years ago?
No.
Okay.
100% not.
So the onus is on that company to reach out to you to catch up, to at least ask, do you want a review of your policy? At least ask. We do that constantly because we want to know what changed. You're making more money. You have more properties. You have more vehicles. You got married. You had children. You change jobs. All of those factors change your insurance, and then that gets into your coverages. So the real question you asked me is what coverages. All the coverages are important. Companies are coming out with new discounts every year. The company should be talking to you about that as well. For example, due to COVID and the pandemic, a lot of people worked from home, right? They weren't driving. So company I represent, Allstate, we have something called a DriveWise discount where we'll give you automatically a 10% discount for driving less and using this device. And then over time, your policy can keep going down.
Yeah.
So those are conversations that you have to be in, and that might not have been available last year, 2 years ago, or 3 years ago when you first started the policy. So that's really the question. To keep your company informed and to build a relationship with an agent that knows what you're doing, that can give you advice.
That's right. Not just a company, not just let's go online, 15 minutes, you know.
Boom. That's another question right there. Look, online quotes, right? Because I've done it personally. I'm pretty sure you done it. I'm pretty sure you did it at one time too, right?
Of course.
Everybody's like, all right, you go on like these websites and then you put your name, number, and you have like 300 people that are trying to contact you. Yeah, we'll get you the best price, the best coverage, right? So what advice would you give to someone looking for insurance? Maybe car, home, or even like life online. Why should they not go with that and come to you?
Look online. I consider myself a Google genius too, right? I can Google with the best of them. If I don't know an answer, I can I can find it. There's nothing wrong with knowledge. If I don't feel well, I'm going to Google WebMD and I'm going to look for a natural remedy to get rid of a headache or a stomach ache or whatever is bothering me. But if I go into day 2 or day 3 and I still don't feel well, I'm talking to my doctor.
Yeah.
I'm talking to my doctor. Same thing. You can look for a house online. You can look for a loan online.
Yeah.
But because what you're doing is so involved, do you want to do that based on what you've read and 300 people are recommending? Or do you really want to be in a conversation say, look, Louis, or look, Johanna, this says I qualifies for this, but let me tell you my situation.
Yeah.
And then you could really help. I had some things come up. Then you could really help. So I encourage people to look online. It gives you some knowledge, and it gives you a place to start the conversation. So I want people to be informed. I want people to know. That's why I give away so much information on my site with reels and videos all the time. I'm not afraid of people learning. I think people should know as much as possible. So you can ask even me hard questions like, Kevin, this is what I had. It only cost this much. Why are you recommending something different?
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things people should look for is when they're talking to people in their policy, ask why. Why do I have these limits? And the person you're talking to should be able to explain it to you. And we're New Yorkers, right? So we can smell BS from across the street.
100%.
Humming. If it doesn't feel right, then try somebody else. Or ask them, can I call you back if I have more questions?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, no, it doesn't come directly to my line. I get uncomfortable with big purchases if I really can't come back to you and says, Anna, I want to buy a house. This is the mortgage I think I can afford. If it's $200 more than that, I really can. Or I'm looking for a house. You need to go back and forth and get to know people because people's situations are different.
Mm-hmm. That's right. You want them to be knowledgeable policyholders. Absolutely. And you also do life insurance. Absolutely.
I love doing life insurance. So I mentioned that I started in a business as a life underwriter on the other side, making sure people qualify. It always has been and it still is my favorite part of the business. The reason being is because it's something that's not mandatory. It's something people don't think about, but it's something that everybody needs on several levels. Number one, of everything I do, is the only policy that you're definitely going to need. You may have a car insurance policy with me for 30 years. You may never have a claim, and I hope you don't. You may have house or apartment insurance with me. You may never have a fire. You may never get robbed, and I hope you don't. But life insurance is something that everybody's going to need one day. Hopefully not too soon, but you're going to need it.
Yeah.
And doing this as long as I have, I've had both good fortune and misfortune of speaking to the beneficiary, putting checks in people's hands, and having peace of mind knowing that the family is going to be okay. I can remember last year, right before COVID started, one of my customers, her husband passed away, and she was shocked that he still had the policy. She said, he's been paying this money, $80 a month for so long. So many times I told him to cancel it because we really didn't have the money. I said, well, what I'm here to say to you today is he loved you enough to find a way to come up with that $80 all the time. And here's $200,000 for his sacrifice. And that's going to take care of what you and, everything that's necessary going forward. Yeah. And I've done that so many times that it gets really, really interesting. It's really, when people lose someone, some people bring water, some bring a nice cake, some people bring chicken. I bring a check. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit different.
Absolutely. And I know Allstate has gotten more options when it comes to this life insurance, and life insurance is also evolving on the way that it's presenting to the people. So, for example, I know there's some policies you can outlive them just in case you think, what if nothing happens in this amount of time, and so on. And there's also policies that can protect your assets. If anything to happen, you can throw in your mortgage if you're a homeowner already, and everything that's there. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So Allstate offers, all companies, when it comes to Allstate on the life insurance side, operate more like a broker, meaning that we have several companies to choose from. It's not limited to Allstate. We can go to the best company with the best product and the best price. But all life insurance companies, there's only two kinds of life insurance. It doesn't matter what they call it. There's term life insurance and there's permanent life insurance, or whole life insurance. Term life insurance is a very specific amount of insurance for a very specific amount of years. For example, you have a $500,000 mortgage for 30 years. You can have a 30-year term life policy for $500,000. So God forbid, if something happens to the two people or one person that's paying for the mortgage, there's enough life insurance so the family can still stay there and live there. Okay? No one has to move. You guys are selling homes. You're doing the mortgages, so a lot of times it depends on 2, maybe 3 incomes to get it.
That's right.
So life insurance protects that. On the whole life insurance side, the permanent life insurance side, those policies come with something called living benefits. Okay. It accumulates cash value. You can borrow against that cash value. You can withdraw. You can put more money into the policy so it accumulates on a tax-deferred basis, kind of a hidden savings, and you could just let that grow. And that's something that you can use in your lifetime. So 2 to 3 times a year, I'm always talking to some of my mature customers that have had policies for a while. Kevin, my daughter's getting married. We don't want to take the $10,000 from any place else. Can we borrow, withdraw from our policy to pay our part for the wedding? Sure. Our roof is going. We need someplace to grab $15,000. The cash value in the policy is there for those living benefits. So sometimes people struggle with the idea of doing something for someone that's not going to benefit them, right?
Yeah.
little bit selfish.
So is that kind of like an IRA account, pretty much, like an IRA, the Roth account, or no?
IRA is a different account altogether. IRA stands for Individual Retirement Account. That's something you're putting money away for your retirement. It's accumulation phase. It builds up and then it pays out. Life insurance is different. Life insurance is pennies on a dollar. What do I mean pennies on a dollar? That you can pay at a young age, maybe $20, $25 a month, and you can have $500,000 or $1 million of life insurance, depending on, a lot of factors, but you can pay very little. And if something happens, your family's going to get
$25 a month. Sign me up. Where do I sign up? Let's go, Ralph. You need
the podcast,
insurance
get the application.
It's all right.
It's very, very reasonable. Obviously, that changes by age, by health, but it's a conversation. It's not. What I like to let people know is it's not intimidating, and I like to start conversations with getting to know people, find out what you need. What you need not only for your final expenses, but what debt do you have that you want paid off when you're not here, right? And then also, what future goals do you have? You're young, you're making money, you're selling real estate, and if you live, you have some big plans that you're going to take care of some things for you and yours. Yeah. But if that comes up short, you still want those things to be done. That's what life insurance can do. It can pay your final expenses, it can pay off your debt, but most importantly, can also take care of your future goals and aspirations, some things that if you're still healthy, still able to work and bring a check home, you'll do those things that you desire to do. But if you're not, life insurance is the backup to your plan.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing. What advice, to conclude the life insurance, what advice would you give the young people? Because they're the ones mostly, I'm too young, but they're the most reckless ones, but I'm too young and it's, not yet, I still have time. And then they let the time pass and now they want to apply for it. Now they have some problems with their health and so on and so on.
I would tell young people to get it now, to get into a conversation now. I have a wonderful person on my team. Shout out to Diego Carranza. Diego is looking forward to seeing us on Monday. I told him before I was coming, but he's a young man and he's great for talking to young people because you should get it while you're young and healthy.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so you can't get car insurance after you had an accident. You can't get house insurance after you had a fire, and you can't get life insurance after you're on your deathbed when you find out you have 6 months to live. But why now? You're young, you're healthy, and it's very, very affordable for everybody. From 18 to 80, life insurance is never going to be more affordable than it is today, because tomorrow you're going to be one day older. Kevin, I don't have a wife or kids yet. Good. Get life insurance now, so when you walk into that situation, you're bringing something else besides your good looks and your personality to the relationship. That's already one of the things that's done. You don't have to worry about where can I find $25 because we have these expenses. Young people with student loans, mom, dad, auntie, uncle, co-sign for that student loan. They co-sign for $100,000, $200,000. You're out here making money and you're driving a little reckless. Something happens to you on top of what mom and dad and auntie and uncle have already done, that loan falls back on them. Why not get a policy to take care of that so they'll be okay? It's a very responsible thing to do. It's an extremely responsible thing to do. And again, you hope not to use it, but if you do, it feels better. I mean, I started buying life insurance before I sold it at a young age, because at a young age, I still like to play ball and be around guys and be in games where things could go left real quick and you might not come home. So my life insurance was my justification to my wife and kids that we'll be okay. Let me play until I can't play, and fast forward not being able to play anymore, still got to have the life insurance.
That's amazing. So now for the homeowners insurance, what advice would you give to the new home buyers? What to look into? What should they be more, let's say, focused and careful with when it comes to choosing the right homeowners insurance policy?
That's a great question. So first-time home buyers, love talking to first-time home buyers, love speaking to groups of first-time home buyers. Yeah. But what I always say is right after they're done with you, Johanna, and they have that pre-approval letter, reach out to talk about the insurance then. Don't wait until your closing date is tomorrow and get it at the last second. Talk early so you can have some options. Make sure you have a conversation with the insurance agent and the company so you know you're buying the right kind of home insurance. Kevin, what do you mean? Isn't all home insurance the same? Absolutely not. It depends on what you're doing with the property. Home insurance, by the first word, is when the homeowner lives in the house. If it's an investment property that you're doing and you're renting out to others, you need a landlord's policy. If you're buying a vacant house that maybe you're going to flip and fix up, that's the least expensive. It's a dwelling policy. So each type of home that you're buying, you need something different, and you want to be in a conversation about it early to be comfortable. When you do the loan, you need, or even on your, when you're selling a house, the estimators there as to what they should spend. So you're giving them some guidance. Then let an insurance company reinforce it and work with you to come in at the numbers you need for them to come in to make it work. Correct. So it's not the last minute.
Yeah. So, and a lot of people, because we are in the real estate business, right? So when homeowners are getting insurance, like first-time home buyers, they look at the price a lot, right? They'll say, "Oh, but I got a quote from Allstate. It was $1,300, and then I got a quote from Geico for $1,000, and then I got a quote from my friend who works at ABC Insurance for $800, and I'm going with him because it's $800, and every dollar I can spend is literally money in my pocket, right?" So that can hurt. That can hurt people, right? Yes. Because I know like some insurance have to cover the property, the dwelling itself, the land, and then aside from that, whatever loan they just took out. Because obviously, if they're taking out a loan, you want that insured, obviously, and especially the bank also wants to make sure that their money is, being insured. So what would you say to somebody right now who's a first-time home buyer watching this, maybe about to buy a $800 policy? It might be the best policy. It might
be. It might be. The fact that it's inexpensive doesn't make it bad. So our agency is known for being extremely honest. We'll look at all three of those quotes. The $800, the $1,000, the $1,300. Yep. We'll try to bundle it with the cars if they're a driver to take 35% off the price. We're going to work with them because especially I partner with a lot of realtors, a lot of lenders. We want to work with you for the relationship and we want to make the sale, but not at the expense of ruining your sale. So if they come to me and, some of my reputable competition, State Farm, if it's more competitive and the coverages are right, I'm going to say this is good. This is really good. Keep this. And that's kind of like what my agency is known for, honesty and giving people the right advice.
Yep.
And then recommendations, because nobody wins all the time, right? Insurance companies, all insurance companies don't even want 100% of the people. We all have this much of the market. We want as much as we can.
Yeah.
But you got to be honest with people. If somebody else has both a better policy and a better price, then be honest and let them know they have a great policy. Let them know when this claim you had before falls off, we'll be able to do better next time. But for right now, go ahead and call this back at this rate and go ahead to closing, and we'll talk more later.
So your overall advice is get on the phone with someone, get on the phone with an agent, let them know exactly what you're using this property for and what are your goals with it. So I think it's great. So get on the phone with Kevin. Where can they call you and your team?
They can call us. My main office number is 718-381-1400. 718-381-1400. I have a wonderful team of people that will take care of you right away.
Let's go. And then Kevin, so one more question. I don't know if you have any more questions, Joanna.
Nope, that wraps it up for me.
All right, one more question for me, right? I have a lot of claims like cars and stuff like that. I used to be a reckless driver. I'm a better driver now, right? But so for people out there, right? Even when it comes to like cars, homes, and you said life insurance, right? Claims. How does that affect you? Because like it's been harder to get insurance now, obviously, but how does it affect the people, people's insurance?
Okay, so incidents and accidents, both are the same. Your fault, not your fault, is all incidents. Moving violations count against you. Parking tickets don't count against you. What I like to do is to look exactly where people are at, what you have going right now. So maybe today we can't give you a better rate. Maybe we can't qualify you. But I like to show you your motor vehicle record. I like to show you your claims history. I'll say, Louis, this is what companies are looking at. It looks like 2019 was rough for you. You had 5 accidents, 3 tickets.
That's not me. That sounds like you.
But I'll also tell you that the things count for 3 years or 5 years. So as long as you drive safe from now till then, we got you then. I'll also tell you to take a defensive driving class to bring your points down. It's all about over time. A lot of people that I write, we don't necessarily write them the first time. It's all about building a relationship and calling you back every 6 months, every year, and working with you until things going better. And then having that honest friend conversation, that uncle conversation. Like, slow down. Stay for a little while. Stay for a little while. Leave earlier for the next appointment. But we love advising people and telling people the truth, because sometimes the information out there about you is wrong. There's a company, I'll leave nameless, that reports every accident that someone's in as being at their fault. So I'll ask you, what happened? No, I was at the studio recording a podcast and somebody hit me while I was parked. I said, well, I'll show you what I'm looking at. It says this was your fault. Then we work through getting that fixed for you and improving your rate. So it's a lot of work behind the scenes. It's not black and white. It's not just numbers. It's working with people to do the best that you can until you can do better.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so that wraps up today's episode. Thank you so much to the insurance guru. You know where to follow him. He's going to give us the information again at the end, and we're going to have Louis close up today. You heard it from the man, Kevin. He's going to be offering $25 insurance policy. I'm kidding. So, Kevin, thank you for coming on, and we hope that, you're able to help more people just like us looking to get insurance, and our buyers, people who just need it. So, Kevin, thank you for coming on, and we look forward to doing more business with you. Thank you so much for having me. Again, please follow me on IG, Kevin Spann, the Insurance Guru. From there, you'll be able to find me any place on social media. Thank you guys for having me. This was fun. I love just kicking with you guys. Looking forward to working with you and helping out with anything I could do with the wonderful nonprofit that you've started. We didn't talk about that, but it's something I'm all about, and I look forward to hearing more and seeing what I can do to help. All right, thank you, Kevin. I hope our viewers learn as much as I did. I know you. Yeah, of course. You learn how to take it easy on the road. Thank you again, everyone. We'll see you on the next episode. We'll see you on the next one.